What is up, everyone? It's a beautiful day. It's very windy. It was very gloomy, but it's very windy right now, so I probably won't be doing much wheelies, but that's okay, because on this video it's pretty much just going to be a 2,000 mile review on the 24 Mt-09. I'm at 2180, and I have a tune from V-Cycle Nut and a full SC Project exhaust, stock intake, and the first thing we're going to talk about, like my first ride on this. My first ride, it was raining when I picked it up from the dealership, so I had it in rain mode, so I didn't really experience any of the power. But the next day I got to get onto it, and I realized that, you know, this is a known problem with these newer Mt-09s. The emissions has, you know, dumbed down the ECU so it doesn't have much power in first or second gear until like 4,000 RPM or something like that. So it was the weirdest thing. First and second gear didn't really have any power until you ringed it out, and then let's say you go first, second, and then you quick shift to third, and then third would be like this. Third would be like, third would just take off, you know. I ordered exhaust actually first at like 700 miles, put the exhaust on, then sent it out to get tuned. Only rode around with it not tuned for, which won't really hurt it, I guess. Only rode around with it not tuned for like a week or so. But I tell you what, when I put that brain back in and I got it, and it got tuned, and it was insane. It was like finally have the power that you would expect from it. It was lifting up. It was just lifting up first, second, third gear. It was just exactly what you would expect from this bike, and it was amazing, you know. But besides that, besides the power delivery, the comfortability, I ride this bike usually about an hour to 2 hours at a time. Okay, your butt does start to hurt on the stock seat. I hear mixed reviews on the aftermarket seat if it's worth it or not. I'll probably try it one day, but I also only have 2,000 miles on this bike, so it's like the seat has to have time to break in a little bit. It's not horrible, you know. It's coming from other bikes, it's pretty comfortable, you know. So I'm gonna give it a little bit before I do a seat on it, you know. The stock handlebars, there's nothing really wrong with them, you know. Some different bars probably could be better, but I like the shape of them. They're pretty good. The rear sets, you can drop the rear sets like this much on both, or they're already dropped this much. You could put it, there's 4 bolt holes on each side. You could put the pegs a little higher, which is pretty cool, but I like the feeling of the lower rear sets. Next thing is going to be fuel economy. Even if I'm just chill riding, I still get on a little bit. My fuel economy is looking at about 38 miles to the gallon. If you're real easy on it, you can get, you know, upwards of 50 or so. But 38 miles to the gallon to be ripping on it, that's not bad. So it's not horrible. My car, it gets a little bit better fuel mileage than my car, so it's whatever. Anything above 35 on a bike's okay. Overall, would I buy this bike again? 100%. I even thought about buying a second one because I love this bike so much. Why buy a second one? Because yeah, I do wheelies on this, but I don't push it to its limits. I don't do 12 o'clock on this yet. I don't do stoppies. I've only pulled the ABS fuse a couple times. So this bike comes with ABS, and this is what happens if you try to, let's say, skid the back wheel with the ABS. It just pushes your back foot up. That was me pushing down all pressure. It doesn't lock it up. It's the same thing with the front brakes. It won't let you lock it up. Oh, the Weiler? What the world? Superior's Weiler paver? What are they doing over here? Oh, it's stormy almost. What the hell? Oh, it looks like they paved this right here. Oh, they must have extended the parking lot. Ah, this is fresh. My father-in-law paved this, and this isn't even too far from the house. I work far from the house, but he's lucky enough to work close to the house. He lives freaking 10 minutes away. Anyways, yeah, this bike, people say it's not a good stunt bike. I can understand that, but you can turn the power down because you really only want, for a stunt bike, 100 horsepower at around 50 foot-pounds of torque. Any more torque than that, it's going to be kind of twitchy. You can kind of control the horsepower, but I would, it's such a comfortable bike, it's such a good bike, I would almost make this a stunt bike. But what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to end up putting a 12 bar sub cage and a cage on this. I don't know about a rear brake setup. That in the future I might just turn this into a stunt bike, but it's so new, only 2,000 miles, I just take it easy. But overall, this bike is amazing. I'm not just saying that. Why would I just say that? No, I didn't even ride one before I got one. I just went and I was gonna get an Mt-07, and then I sat on this, and the price difference wasn't too horrible, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the Mt-09. I'm used to having a lot of power, so it sounds good for me. And this thing just freaking wheelies like no other. The amount of torque is just beautiful. And that is a custom mode. If you look, it says wheelie mode. I made it in the settings. They have an app. These Mt-09s have a Yamaha app that you can download. You can customize your ride modes and whatnot. See your fuel mileage, see your location of where you rode, your riding logs, what speeds you hit, which is really cool. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that you could do with these. They have cruise control. They have music up and down. Like right now, see that? I can go music up, I go music down, all right there. Obviously I have a Cardo and a phone right here, but having that on the screen is very, very useful. But it depends what bike you're coming from. If you're coming from a smaller CC bike, this would be great because it's got a lot of decent usable power. It is so windy today, I can't do much wheelies. I could do a speed run. But yeah, I would go ahead, if you're thinking about it, just do it. I watched the video before I got it, it's like, oh, if you're thinking about it, just do it. And I did it, and man, I love it. This is my favorite bike that I have. And I have a bunch of bikes. I don't trust those cars. I try not to do dumb stuff around cars, because I do have a friend that has died by a street bike. He was my buddy and my other buddy. It was in another video. in a Jeep Cherokee, you know, not even a Wrangler, a Cherokee, and they pulled out in front of a bike, but the bike was doing 160, and they rode bikes, so they know to look out for bikes. So they looked at the freaking, they looked and they didn't see nothing, and they went, and the street bike hit them and cut them in half, cut the car in half. The guy's leg was found like so far away from the accident, and my one friend was dead on impact. My other friend was brain dead in the hospital. He didn't make it. They both died. All three of them died. So just because I'm a believer that us on bikes aren't hurting nobody, but you can kill people even though you're the one on the motorcycle. So just when you're going past roads that people might pull out, even though there's a stop sign, see the speed that I'm doing? You see the speed? I'm doing a little bit over the speed limit, but you see that car? They see me. If I was going fast, they probably wouldn't have seen me. So when you go past intersections in crossroads, go slower than you normally would be. Okay? Oh no. A little bit of water's okay. I try not to get this thing wet at all. That's my review. It's a pretty shitty review. There's obviously way better reviews out there, but it's just my first impressions, 2,000 mile review of this bike, and I love it. This bike's freaking amazing.